views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Yeah. Welcome to another edition of the Views from the Friend Zone podcast. It's your boy Real Talk Mall, who I got in the building with me.
Sensei in the building. What up, people?
It's your boy Cliff Brockman.
What's going on? My name is McGregor.
And trainer Leonard Smith.
Yes, y'all. Happy Sunday to all my Boricuas out there enjoying the parade. Do your thing, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, mamacita.
I haven't did the parade in such a long time. I think like 04, 05, something crazy like that. When's the last time
You're not allowed
did the
to
parade?
go to the parade no more.
My wife is Boricua. I should be allowed to go to the parade for the rest of my life.
It's been a few years. You
I ain't
know.
go since high school.
Same thing since high school. I haven't been there.
Couple years ago. Yeah, I made my runs. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, so shout out to y'all. Be out there, be safe, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, this week is, you know, it's been kind of a somber week, you know what I'm saying? We had 3 tragic deaths. We had, you know, Kate Spade, we had Anthony Bourdain, and we had he was a chef. He did CNN. He was real cool. And then we had LeBron James' career in Cleveland.
Oh my God.
That was the 3rd death. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, 3 deaths.
To me, that hit home. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, that was a tragedy. You know what I mean?
I got to keep it 100. I'm one of the people who's on the LeBron's the GOAT train, and I had to slow the train down. Like, yo, we got to regroup. You know what I'm saying? We can't have that conversation right now. We got to go back and build back up. You know what I'm saying?
That doesn't determine whether you great or not. You know what I mean?
No, he's great.
Like,
Great and GOAT is
you
2 different
can't
conversations. I got to be 100.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
I got him as the GOAT.
team sport.
You still got him as a GOAT?
I mean,
GOAT is not a team
you know what it
title.
is? I think I heard Jay-Z say one time where you could die young or live long enough to see yourself be the villain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, if he had stopped after they got that first chip in Cleveland, because he did what he did in Miami,
Then he could have been a legend.
He could have left it alone.
You know what I'm
gonna
saying?
hate him now? I mean, come on, you still winning games.
And you said
you
that
patting your
that's
stats.
perfect, because I always tell people this. We're going to get into the show, but we got to have this little conversation.
Listen.
I always tell people this. LeBron James, to me, is a better player than Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan had the better career. You got to be able to differentiate the two, right? Because your career also involves the teams that you won, the story, the legacy. Like everyone's going to remember Jordan with that last shot against Utah.
The push off.
People act like anything that happened in between and after, people people don't remember Jordan and Wizards. It don't even count.
I'm conducting an investigation though, because I just have to understand why these people hate LeBron so much.
That's the thing.
These dudes. I could understand the hate for Jordan.
You
You
know
know why? Because Jordan destroyed a lot of people's teams.
Yeah,
But
You know what
LeBron,
I mean? It's
if
easy to
you
understand.
couldn't go through the
Chips.
East for the past decade without going through LeBron.
That's a
Because
fact.
remember
Most of
when
the people I
Jordan
know, they're
retired,
not
how
fans
happy
of those
Barkley
teams,
was?
though.
Yeah.
He's like, it's open now, and you got to feel the same way in the East. But
They just hate.
I think I got the inverse from you. You said Jordan had the better career and LeBron was a better player?
Yes.
I think I got LeBron having a better career.
Well, just the 3 and 6, the 3 and 6 in the
Yeah,
finals
that's
is
bad.
part of your career.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
How
saying?
many finals Jordan been to?
Only 6.
6.
Only
But he got
6.
6.
But
Don't get me wrong.
6 for
LeBron
6.
been to 8, but he only got 3.
And
LeBron
LeBron
is
been
an
to
amazing-
9.
9. Oh, pardon me. Yeah,
He
it's
8 on this
9.
run,
Yeah.
and then in 07 he
You're
had
Yeah,
what?
but 9 finals? Come on, dog.
No, that's an
People
amazing,
don't
that's an
respect
amazing
making
thing.
it,
That's an
though.
amazing
They
thing.
don't respect
man.
making
Who
it.
you
Ah,
know?
You either
before
win it
before we
or you
lose
get
all
eliminated.
before we lose all our female
Yeah, right.
Shout out to
derailed the
Bron.
show completely. You know
Shout
what
out
I'm saying?
to
Let me
Bron.
get into the show, right?
Much
So-
disrespect
Word, keep
to
your head
the
up,
kid.
bro.
So the first topic is sound mind and body, and to be serious, if anyone was offended by my joke of the death of LeBron career, I probably shouldn't loop all the suicides with that death. It was a funny joke, but not really. But on a more serious thing, Yeah, Anthony Bourdain and
Yeah, he had a
Kate
huge
Spade.
show called No Reservations.
Yeah, and he traveled and he showed people how to eat and stuff.
Went to
And,
different
he was a
countries.
very alternative lifestyle dude, and and he had success as he got older, which is an inspiration story for people because a lot of us are in our 30s and we's like, am I happy with my career choices? But we have trainer Leonard Smith in the building, and part of his training, he also talks about the mind and the psyche, you know what I'm saying? Because that goes hand in hand. And I felt like, with people not paying attention to their mental health, especially people of color, I always say, like, that's something we need to discuss as well. You know what I'm saying? So the first topic is sound mind and body, right? We're going to discuss how can we get that on equal footing. You know what I'm saying? So the first question is, how do we achieve sound mind and body? And I'm gonna have Leonard Smith, hit us off first.
That's a dope start, my brother. Because I actually was gonna hit you up about that. That's dope.
Works.
Yeah.
Great minds.
Yeah, no doubt. Damn, I guess do I want to go so deep so quick? I guess I'm gonna just jump right in.
Yeah.
Take that jump, brother.
Yeah, right. I had bouts with suicidal thoughts pretty much my whole life.
Wow, I did not know that. And it's the thing, me and Leonard went to school, and Leonard's always carried himself so confidently,
Right.
so together and strong. So to hear that, not to say that if you contemplate suicide that you're weak, but we always think someone who's suicidal is someone who has problems and stuff like that.
But that's why it's important that the dialogue be brought up.
You guys are going to get to be a sandwich. You get the sandwich. Yeah. So Amanda doesn't even have to introduce herself. She's a regular. So we're going to have Leonard continue. The first topic we're talking about is sound, mind, and body. We're talking about the suicides. Well, we mentioned the suicides, Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade, and we're just talking about mental health as well. And Leonard being, a trainer, we want to talk about having sound, mind, and body.
Right.
So continue.
I'm inspired to talk about or to start that with a meme that I seen floating on the gram and Facebook a couple of months or so ago. It's still around where it says be sure to check on your strong friend.
People, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even to tie it with like the LeBron thing, one of the reasons I empathize with LeBron is because he's a strong individual, and I think a lot of the negative energy that gets brought his way, and this is something that I empathize with is now as well. Now that God has elevated me to a certain level, I have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of people looking at me. And I remember a couple of years ago, I don't remember if it was before or after he won his first ring. Well, I don't remember what the deal was, but he had a bad game or something. And in the press conference, he had basically told everybody to kiss his ass. He was like, I'm the greatest player in the world. Y'all still going to go back to y'all sucky jobs on Monday.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why people dislike him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so with that, right, what it is when you chasing, and it don't even got to be greatness, because greatness is a relative thing. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of the youth need to hear and really embrace now, because it's very interesting that you have these standout celebrities,
talents,
taking their own lives. You know what I'm saying? Where you would think that it's the story's a whole.
Because we all think money solves every problem.
Our definition of happiness, which we'll talk about later on the show, is just like, if I had that kind of money,
right?
Oh, you couldn't tell me anything, right. But do you have the kind of problems that come with that money?
And again, so getting back to the sound, mind, and body, it's relative. You know what I mean? I think that especially kids, we gotta tune out from today is social media, but media in general, mass media in general, anything that's kind of pumping up any type of stereotypes, because what happens is when you not living up to those own stereotypes in your head, now that's where the depression comes. And as I said, I've battled with depression. I'll be 37 next month, God willing. I've been suicidal for 27 of those years. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Straight like that.
And like I said, I've known Leonard for a long time, and Lenny's always been strong and just like
outgoing and boisterous, so you would never think that. But that's another thing people gotta
Let me
realize.
ask you a question.
So hold on a second. Being suicidal is not a one size fit all. It's not a look. It's not a particular status.
Right.
Go ahead.
Is it like when you say like suicidal, you have suicidal thoughts? Like, is it more a constant thing? Because I'm just saying, I don't think I have suicidal thoughts, but I sometimes be driving across the bridge and I'd be like, what if I drive off this bridge? Will I survive?
It's not a constant
like
thing.
that. It's not,
and that's
I
what we
think
got
we all
to.
have weird twerks like that, but to be suicidal
I
and
also
depression
think about
is
murdering
more.
people, but that's
And then
another-
also,
I'm not going to act on it. I just
You know
think
what?
about it.
And I do want to hear more from you, but I don't. I want to try to get perspectives. You know, the question is, and we're gonna get back to you, is how do we achieve sound mind and body, McGregor?
What you guys are just talking about, well, what we're talking about, is huge about emotional wealth. A lot of people, they compare being poor to material things, finances, but mentally wealthy, emotionally healthy, that's a huge thing.
Yes.
You understand? And that's something that I think that we all go through struggles, but we just have to keep on the fight. You understand? We have to keep fighting, and that's important. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people give up, you know? It's huge. It's huge, brother. And I don't know if you guys realize that, but like even in New York, what they say, 1 out of 5 New Yorkers have some type of mental illness.
And that's a large percentage when
It's
you got a
huge.
city of 9 million people. You know, that almost equates to close to 2. Like 1 and change, 1.2 something of people who have mental illness, and a lot of people aren't diagnosed with it.
And, pardon me.
Amanda, what do you feel it takes to achieve sound mind and body?
I feel that people need to dig within themselves and find out what makes them happy and continuously do what makes them happy. I feel like people need to reach out as well. And I had a question for you. Have you ever reached out before out of all of those years? Like, were you scared to reach out? I feel like in the black community, a lot of people are scared to come
We
forward.
won't go to help. Like,
Yeah.
I have grown black friends, and I didn't mean to hijack your question, but it is now I have friends who go to therapy and have a therapist, and they're able to talk about it.
Yeah.
But growing up, you have a therapist, you think that you have a huge issue at home or something like
Right.
that, but you know, people need someone to talk to.
They do.
well, and I'm glad you asked me that question because for me, I was able to have a conclusion to my suicidal thoughts or suicidalness or whatever. And what that was is when I decided I was going to kill myself. All right. So after 27 years, like I think I was actually 25 when that happened. And I don't know if you know what, you know, I had a couple of, I always had some weapons on me, you know what I'm saying? And after
I ain't want to bring that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. But that's
we
what that's
talking
always,
about the new and proven, and
Right,
we're not
right,
talking
right,
about all
right.
the demons, you know what I'm saying?
So, you know, to make a long one a short one, I decided to turn one of my weapons against myself. And me being the type of person that I am, you know, like I said, or as a youth, I dealt with the thoughts and whatever, if I do this or whatever. But when I decided I was going to do it, and by the grace of God, one of my friends had moved my gun, and then I was detained. So after being detained for about a week, I came out of there with a new perspective on life. So, you know, I think that in terms of reaching out, right? So when I was detained, what I realized for me, and this is definitely something I want to get across to the world if I can. What I told myself, and when the suicidal thoughts went away, is that nobody give a fuck about you. That's my perspective. All right? Because I'm in detention. I'm not supposed to get out until I do X, Y, and Z, talk to this person, that. I took the cab home and never talked to nobody else.
Isn't that more reason why people feel like they can just end it?
Yeah.
Because nobody
Yeah,
cares
boy.
about
That's why
them?
I was going to let him finish that thought, because I didn't want people to think. You know, sometimes people in a dark place, and then you telling you nobody cares about them. You might confirm to them that, you know, they're in a dark place, but, you know,
Listen,
I want
this is Trainer Leonard Smith. It's
Yeah.
my perspective.
Yeah.
For me, if I feel like you don't give a fuck about me, I'm going to bring it to you. I'm not going to degrade myself. Like you said, I'm a new and improved Leonard Smith.
Yeah.
When you seen me before, it was a front. I'm trying to look good. I'm
Yeah.
not good. That's why I'm spending all this money trying to look good. That's why
Yeah.
I'm broke.
Yeah.
But when you get good, and for me it started with prayer. It started with talking to God. All right, why'd you create me? What you want me to do? Take one step, take 2 steps. All right, I'm rocking. Y'all don't care what I'm doing? Cool. After a month, after a year, now I got experience. Now I got credentials. Now I got a spot. The Holy Bible says that your gift will make space for you. Your talent will make space for you.
Your gift will make space
If
for
you don't identify that, so again, me with the tough love, nobody give a fuck about you. I work with kids every day. I work with kindergarten through 5th grade, and then I work with 9th grade through 12th grade every single day. And I convey that tough love every day, but I feel like I get results because it's not fake. It's like when I tell you nobody give a fuck about you, I'm telling you, yo, come fuck with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get it. I'm going to push whoever out the way.
Yeah. So I think I want to kind of spin what he's saying. Like, there's not going to be a lot of people out there that care about you, but there are always people who will. So find these people, build relationships
Your gift
with
will
them.
make space for you. If I'm a carpenter, I'm going to join the Carpenters Union.
Yeah.
If I'm a biker, I'm going to go join a bikers gang.
Yeah.
And the thing, and again, with the status quos is like, yo, fuck what good is.
Yeah.
Because people take their life because they feel, I'm not good. I'm a
you got to
bus
define
driver.
your
I'm
own
supposed
personal
to do
goodness.
this. You know what I'm saying?
I actually want to get to Clifford. Like, what do you feel? Because you've been through trials and tribulations and a tough road yourself. So what do you think it takes to achieve sound mind and body?
Being patient and also knowing that somebody do care. And then it's also important to reach out to people, because sometimes a conversation can help you. Like, not to go on my personal business, but I'm in a LVAD group on Facebook. It's people who went through different heart surgeries and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised. There'd be some people that'd be like, yo, tonight I'm taking myself out. But, sometimes it's certain quotes you put up and let them know, listen, this is what I'm doing, and I'm battling the same situation with you. So sometimes just having a conversation with somebody, you can change that person's life. Just because somebody looks good from the outside, don't mean he not fucked up inside, and it's a lot of things. Because people think financially, just because you have money doesn't make you happy. Because there's something...
You trade things off for money, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes in life, we skip a step. You know what I'm saying? You might be 10 years old, and then you forgot that what really triggered you to now you're a grown man, and you still can't figure it out. Because you skipped at 10 years old, how important it was, damn, why my dad didn't stay around? Why this person, you know what I'm saying? And then you could have everything financially set, but you still messed up as a person. So me, I always like to reach out to people, talk to people, and have good spirit. I work in the mental health field. Me and they'll say we work in the mental health field, and every day when I deal with the patients or inmates, whatever you want to call them, I talk to them like, I could be in the same situation. I don't judge you what you're here for because everybody has a testament. Everybody's going through something. So it's very important to sit down and talk to somebody if you're going through that kind of stage.
So, to move on to the next question, but I also want to say something. Like, I feel like to achieve sound mind and body, you got to have a balance. Because too many times we're more focused on one thing than the other. When Clifford was going through what he was going through, I kept thinking to myself, how is he going through that? I'm the one who physically hasn't been healthy most of my life or not in shape. And here he goes with a heart situation. You know what I mean? I never told anyone, but I felt guilty like, that should be me and not him. You know what I'm saying? And not like he did anything to cause it. It was, something that happened in the body that we couldn't foresee. But I just, to the point where I wasn't even able to communicate with him all the time because I kept feeling guilty like, yo, I saw that kind of road for myself. I never saw that road for him, and I felt guilty about it. So, next question on this topic is, how does lifestyle affect our mindset and our decisions?
Well, how I see it is a lot of people, they feel as if the material things that they have or how they portray themselves defines who they are. And that's totally wrong. As we can see, a lot of people who are what society sees as financially successful, socially, acceptable, they're going through their own battles within. And what you have to do, for me, my own perspective on it is dig deep within yourself. See what makes you happy. I know for me personally, I don't follow the crowd. I'm 36 years old, and I found this out recently. I'm kind of like, I'm an ambivert. I can be with people, or I can be with myself. I love both. I don't necessarily fit into any particular crowd, and I'm okay with that. And I realize that at this age. And some people, they have to realize that be who you are. You understand? Don't worry so much about what people see of you, what possessions you have, because they can all be gone tomorrow.
What about you, Amanda?
Same exact thing that he said. For the last 3 years, I've been doing yoga and stuff like that, and been finding myself. And I feel like I pretty much did find myself. And you know, I'm happy. Be happy on the inside and show on the outside too.
What about you, Lenny? How does lifestyle affect our mindset and our decisions?
Well, I think it's 1-to-1. I think that your decisions are a product of your lifestyle, and again, I don't think that it's like my clients. I always tell my clients when I first start training with them, I tell them there's no average. There's only you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what the stats say 5 million people did here. I'm concerned with you. So, whatever lifestyle you live is inevitably going to show through your behavior, through your thoughts, through the situations you find yourself in. I read a book one time that's entitled "The Body Keeps the Score," and I think it's that simple.
So, what about you, Mike? How does lifestyle affect our mindset and our decisions?
Oh, I mean, I keep it simple. The lifestyle it's actually gonna influence, how you feel physically. But I mean, by your lifestyle, I try to live every day like it's my last.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean going out doing reckless stuff and blowing money or this, that, and the third. I just mean
Have that intensity or that
have that
approach.
intensity. Like, if it's something I want to do that makes me happy. Sometimes you can't, because it's not responsible. But at the same time, I'm going to do the things that put a smile on my face and make me happy and doesn't take away from other avenues of my life. And that's what I think that term YOLO people use a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean go out there and be reckless. It just means enjoy
Take certain
every
chances.
day, because, like you said, tomorrow is not promised.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what you might do that, or not do that you say, damn, I wish I did that.
So my answer to that, and then I'll move to the last question, is I feel like the lifestyle, me being unprepared a lot or rushing, affects how I eat, and in turn affects mentally how I feel, physically how I feel. I feel like if I'm working on being more prepared, meal prepping, giving myself time to get to and from places and stuff like that, so that I can consciously make the decisions. Someone healthcare person told me is just like we make like, I think it was 10,000 or 20,000 decisions a day, something like that. And when you leave yourself like too focused, not enough time to focus on your meals, you go to like your go-tos, what's fast, what's quick, what's cheap, and stuff like that, instead of like really taking care of your body and feeding your body the fuel that is needed. There's nothing more expensive or valuable to you than your body. But instead of putting that premium gas, we try to find the cheapest gas we can. Gas that we know is watered down and bad, but you know what? We don't take that time. Just think about it. I drive a luxury car. I won't put anything under 93 in my car, no matter what, no matter how expensive it gets. I'm like, that's the cost. That's the cost I paid for driving the foreign car that I drive. But I'll eat an egg roll because the egg roll's cheap and quick. And that's garbage. You know what I'm saying? And I know, that's why my mindset, I'm trying to get a better mindset and preparation so I can make these better decisions. Carry a fruit with me, carry something like that. So the last question on this topic is, what's more important, a sound mind or a sound body? And then we'll have you pick that up.
A sound mind. The mind makes the body. The mind makes the body.
Yeah. What about you?
Sound mind as well. If you're not mentally there, you're gonna not feel physically there either.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
Yeah. I agree with that as well. Your mind motivates, moves the body. 100%.
I think the opposite, right?
You think a sound body
You know
over a
why?
sound mind.
I think physically, when you feel good with your body, your mind operates a certain way too. Like, that's why when working out, you feel good about yourself. Like me, it's very therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Even through I was going through the worst of the worst, I seen the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? I seen the tunnel. Some people don't understand that term, but I seen the tunnel. But when I got back to it being healthy and I got back to, I started working out 2 hours a day. I don't think about any of my problems.
Okay, when we start yoga, we meditate first. So we have to get our mind right first, and then we get our body right.
Yeah,
so
that's what I kind of agree with.
But
that.
that's just how it is in yoga. But that's how they try to set your mind. You have to clear your mind first, and then we work on our body afterwards.
I agree with both parts. You know, it can be both, but I would say this to y'all: there's certain things that you eat, right, that can influence your thinking or your feeling. You know what I'm saying? So certain stuff that you take into your body then affects your mental state.
Yeah, I got a
decision to eat that.
Let me listen.
But listen, hold on. Say something, then I got to end it because this is a what came first, the chicken or the egg, and you can always have a.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
What Mike said, what he say, agree with both. But this is a prime example, right? I work a lot of hours. I do a lot of overtime, right? When you're doing a lot of overtime, there's certain foods you can do that's going to give you the energy. When you eat McDonald's and you trying to do 16 hours back to back to back, that body's going to tell you you ain't going to make it the next day. But when you eat certain foods and you're getting that energy nourishment, you're able to do that.
What about people who fast for a week?
And their mind is clear and sharp as heck.
Because
we have limited time.
Thinking about food all the time.
But that's the strong mind.
We got a limited time. We got a lot of other questions. So that's definitely, like you said, it's definitely you can say body, you can say mind. I'll be the last statement on this issue. I feel like your mind allows your body to make certain decisions. It's like, you thinking that you're working out just because it feels good, but your mind told you, yo, Cliff, you feel good when you work out. Make working out a priority. Your mind allowed you to make it even muscle memory so that, Monday you go in and do that workout and stuff like that.
Push your body to do things it probably wouldn't.
Your mind is the driver in that foreign vehicle.
Yes, exactly. So the next topic is happy or in love. A lot of times people in relationships have to make the choice.
Real good.
Have to make the choice between being happy or in love. Or sometimes because you're in love with a person, you forfeit being happy. You know what I'm saying? There's a small percentage of people out here who's watching the show or just living in life who are happy and in love. And you know what? Yeah. That's the goal. Small but we got to be honest and realize, after a certain amount of time in a relationship, one of those two fade. Sometimes you're not really happy anymore, but you're still in love with the person, so you stay. And sometimes you're not really in love with the person, but the person makes you laugh, smile, doesn't take care of your needs. So you distract yourself. You distract yourself with being happy, but realizing you're not really in love with that person. There's no secret that some people after 25 years wake up and like, yo, I've been happy, but I'm not really in love with that person. So obviously everybody got a lot of experiences, so we're gonna jump right into it. So the first sub question is: are people in relationships because they're happy or because they love that person? What do you think more?
I think it's love, but I don't understand how could you be in love with somebody if you're not happy.
Oh. That is a large percentage of marriages and
I
relationships.
can't.
Because you love someone because love is learned behavior. You love people because sometimes they supported you.
Not be in love with them.
Sometimes you're in love with a person because they supported you. You're in love with a person for their ways.
In love with them, and they're unhappy at the same time. I cannot be.
Yeah, when you're in love, you're happy.
Right, exactly. I can't be.
I can love you, but I'm not happy with. Relationship.
I will not be in love with you.
But if I'm in love with you, that's part of me being in love with you. You make me happy.
Right, exactly. I can't
have one without the other.
What about you? What do you think?
I know that being around somebody that you're in love with, for me, it makes me happy. I've been in relationships where someone has made me happy, like they've done a lot of things for me, but I wasn't in love with them for what particular reason. I don't know. It could be anything. Chemistry. It's a very deep topic. At the end of the day, you got to go with what makes sense and what feels right. You need a combination of the both. That's my perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in situationships and and women that I dealt with in the past that I was in love with them, but it was at such a compromised state. I wasn't happy. So I was in love because we laughed and joked with each other, or we did certain things like that. But there was a lot of things I wasn't getting from these relationships, so I wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying? Did you answer on this?
Nah. Love or happiness. I'm compelled to share something that I was taught by a good friend of mine last year, and that's the definition of love. Mm-hmm. And before he gave it to me, he let me know that in America, in the West, we have a very limited definition of what love is, in opposed to like in the East, where it's like if you look up in the dictionary, it's like 17 different meanings of what love is. Mm-hmm. And in our conversation, we boiled it down to what love is an elevation of understanding. Right? So with that, and in combination with something I got from my brother, which is love never dies, that makes that deep, because I feel like if at any point you love someone, that seed it always remains. And in terms of whether you understand them at this particular point of your or their life, that's, who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So the next question I have on this topic. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's all good. I'm not used to us having so many people.
It's all
I didn't know who
good.
get
The
it.
people hear me all the time.
Answer it.
So
Answer it. So, are people in relationships more because they're happy or because they're in love? Or they love that person?
at this stage of the game, I think people now in a relationship for stability. Like it's because you can learn to.
So
love
is the stability? What is stability? Is that being in love with a person, or is that being happy?
You can learn to love somebody, and you can learn to be happy with somebody because the fact is, that person, what you call it, you're gonna make it work, right? So the question is very tough to me, right? So a lot of people, a lot of people now these days, like, with being married, sometimes what you call it, a lot of situations you learn to say, what, I gotta do this, because I gotta make this person happy. Right. I gotta do this because I know that person loves this. So the question is very tricky, right? So I think a lot of people in a relationship for the stability factor of both.
You said something that sparked something to me, and I feel like being a married person, like I've been married 9 years, I feel like we really gotta know that there's happy seasons and there's love seasons, right? Because there's seasons or reasons that you're staying in a relationship because you love the person, you're committed to them, you love things about them, but you're not really happy. So I always tell people, you're going to go through the happy, unhappy seasons where you just with someone because you love them, but you got to really define what's personal happiness. Because when you choose to get happiness completely from your spouse, you allow another person to dictate your happiness on how you're going to function.
That's exactly what I was going to say real quick. A lot of times you hear people in relationships say, oh, he doesn't make me happy no more. She doesn't make me happy no more. If you are not able to be happy by yourself,
independently,
I was just
never be happy in a relationship.
That's where it starts with you. You have to be able to be happy by yourself. Yeah. And once you can do that, then you can be happy with someone else.
Someone recently asked me, okay, you've been with your wife 10 years. I've been married 9 years. Like, what's your secret? I'm like, there's no secret. I was like, there was times where I was completely focused on just trying to make her happy, and I was killing myself. But then when I kind of said, like, okay, she could be doing things that bother me, but why am I really unhappy? Am I really unhappy because of her, or I'm really unhappy with things going on in my particular life, and I'm letting her actions distract me, Yeah. So the next question is, what's more important, to be happy or to know that you're loved? We'll start with you and then we'll go.
What's more important? Your happiness is most important.
And I agree with you. So many people, fool themselves and saying, "Oh, he loves me." So the fact that the person loves you lets you shit on your happiness.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. It may not. Well, it does have kind of something to do with this subject matter, but I watched this documentary on Mike Tyson on Netflix yesterday. This man, I totally I felt what he was saying, but Mike is crazy, so he said some crazy shit.
Mike got some bars. I broke my back.
Women. He was like, I love women so much. He was like, he said when I see a woman and we just connect, and he said women want to love me, and he's like I don't have room for them to love me because I love them so much. He said, I have so much love to give.
No, that makes sense. Those are the crazy dudes who kill themselves.
He's like, I don't want them to love me. He's like, no, I don't want you to love me because I have so much love to give. And then he was like, when we were having intercourse, he said, I always say no because I want them to know I'm in control. I'm a savage. He was like, whatever they say, I say no. I was like, yo, Mike,
that hurts his. I didn't rape her. I didn't rape her back in the day. Kind of thing.
Definitely heard his argument with that.
All right, what about you, Cliff? So the question again is, what's more important, to be happy or to know that you're loved?
It's to be happy, because once you're happy, you're gonna know that person. So once you're happy and you make that person happy, eventually that person, if it's a good situation, gonna learn to love you.
I'm gonna throw a little spin on it. I think it's both. I think that to be happy is to be loved, but number one, be loved by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it starts from. Once you're happy and you're in love with yourself, then you're able to radiate that to others.
What about you, Amanda? What's more important, to be happy or to know that you're loved?
I think it's both too. Of course, inner happiness is first, and then to know that you're loved also makes you happy as well. So.
What about you?
I agree. Same thing.
Same thing. To be honest,
I want to tell my problem. My problem. You said to love yourself first, right?
Yeah.
I think I love myself too much, and I don't leave room for others.
I think you misdiagnosed. I think, to be honest, you misdiagnose yourself as your best friend. I feel like sometimes you I think you love so hard that you want love to mean something or to follow some kind of definitions, and when it kind of deters, you kind of question it. And I think sometimes you may decide for your happiness that you just have to remove love, and then you wind up single.
Mom's my therapist. You just don't talk. He give me therapy.
We've been having these talks for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? 20 plus years.
No, I was just gonna comment. The open shirt shows that you love yourself.
You got a little sex symbol vibe going on, right?
Yo.
All right, so the last question on this topic, right? And I want to selfishly answer the question after I ask it, which is a terrible talk host combination to do. But what goes faster in a relationship, happiness or love? And I think happiness goes faster than love. Right? Because love, we never question love, right? Sometimes once we had that love in us, we're just like, he loves me, so he cheat, but he still loves me, so I'm not going to question that he loves me. He might beat the shit out of me, but you know what? That's because he loves me. No, this is what people go through. Happiness, happiness sometimes is a Band-Aid, right? So as soon as something changes from the happiness, we're like, I'm not happy anymore.
Happiness is fickle.
It's very fickle. Happiness is vague. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people are not happy no more because the person, cooks the same thing all over again.
That's when the communication needs to start.
Chicken again?
Yeah, well,
What Chris Rock said.
because our personal happiness we're not aware of. You know what I'm saying? So we'll start with you, Lenny, and then we'll go to
Well, I just wanted to piggyback off something you said earlier with the seasons of happiness. People got to realize that that's just how things are. You're not going to be happy 365 no matter what you're doing, no matter who you unless you want some drugs. But, that's going to last 2 years before, so. What now? The darn question was what? Love or happiness?
What goes fast in a relationship, happiness or love?
I don't think it's even, like I said, I don't believe that love ever dies, so definitely happiness.
That's true, because I still love some people that I should hate as far as women or people that I dealt with, but I just got the kind of heart, like I still want to see you do well. I still love you. Right. I don't love you relationship-wise or romantically.
You wouldn't want to see nothing bad happen to that person.
I still love you as
I would.
I still love you as a being that God created. That was foul. So this conversation goes one step deeper. This is the last question, the formal topic question, and then I'm gonna have Amanda pull out a question that she told me earlier, right? So this question goes to deeper because the last topic was being happy or in love. Like, what's the trade-off? But this is like one step further. what's our battle between wants versus needs? Because being happy and being loved might be either a want or a need kind of thing. So this next question is, do we blur the line on what are needs versus what are our wants? Ladies first. So do we blur the line on what is our wants versus what are our needs?
I don't want to go first on this. I don't.
I want to go first.
Come on.
We living in the 21st century. It's 2018, and we in North America, man. Our needs are minuscule at this point. You know what I mean? We got food, we got water. So
it's our wants that drives us.
But with that being said, it's like, okay, well, what are you entitled to? And I think that's why a lot of, at least me, I know I be breaking up. Like I be in serial relationships. You know what I'm saying? But and I think what happens is, like, me on my side, I gotta keep going up. I gotta make more money this year than I did last year. I gotta exercise more. I gotta eat better. And some people just not even on that frequency. They don't even perceive it like that. So just like you was explaining to your man earlier, that's when I start to remove love. So yeah.
That is sad.
It's funny. I was talking black
Y'all
woman.
all removing
Black
love,
woman
right?
really feel strongly about how sad that is. And I'm not mad at you, but the thing is, I don't know where we meet, because I'm not going to give up my happiness to be...
I don't think you should have to give up your happiness,
Yeah,
though.
but then what I got to
No
pay
one
for
should
your
ever have
nails
to.
every day?
I gotta keep the show. I gotta keep the show on the track, right? I gotta keep the show on the track. So the question, Amanda, I want you to answer the question is: do we blur the line on what are our wants versus what are our needs? Do we blur that line?
All right, now you go. Once you got the mic, you warmed up.
So let me give an example of how I feel like a want actually blurs the line for a need, right? And me personally is sex. We technically don't need sex because hear me out.
Yeah, right.
Outside of procreation, listen. You gotta let me finish. Outside of procreation,
What is going on here?
let me finish the question and then let me.
Hold on.
So, we technically don't need the physical acts of sex outside of procreation. We want it, but it does become a need for us to feel validated, for us to feel satisfied, for us to feel
You to see clear.
like in a relationship. If you're not getting sex, the relationship doesn't feel validated.
It's not
All right,
valid.
so now everybody gets to answer because y'all all attacking me.
Finished talking about mental health. We just finished talking about mental health. I don't know about y'all,
If you ain't
but
getting
sex helps your mental
Right.
health.
It does.
If you don't get, I bet you, now I shouldn't make light of some of these situations, but all those people that's going around shooting people up for no good God reason, I bet you they ain't do it after they got some butt. I bet you.
There was a comedian, I forgot his name, Andrew Schultz. He
Nah,
was
you
just
do need
like,
that release,
if some of these teachers, you know how we keep having a situation where these teachers are messing with the young boys and stuff like that. He's like, if some of those teachers was giving it to the active shooters, we wouldn't have those active shootings.
Yeah, that's.
No, but to get to the serious of the question,
Look
have
back
we
at his
blurred the
phone.
line on what's between a want and a need?
I'm gonna say definitely yes. We live in a society where everybody wants the most expensive car, the most expensive clothes. Everyone wants to look good. They want to travel around the world and on these lavish trips. But what it comes down to is what do you really need? You understand? I know some men that want to be with multiple women. Do you need to be with multiple women? You understand? I know some women who need men to finance them. Do you need a man to finance you?
Isn't that relative again, though? Because, like, especially in terms of the finance thing, right? Like, let's say if a woman really feels like that in her heart and then she turns to prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Just on an extreme level. And let's just say I'm taking this crazy, but let's just say she has an accident out there on the strip and she gets killed, right? So that's that whole lady's life. Let's say she's 20 years old, right? So in terms of her life, didn't that constitute as a need? Do you follow what I'm
That
saying?
constitutes bad choices.
I think no.
But it's relative. That girl, I mean,
Yeah.
God put her here for 20 years in the lane that she was in. You know, not everybody is supposed to be the next vice president of America.
Yeah,
or
that's
this or
true.
that.
And prostitution is the oldest occupation.
The oldest profession in the world. Yes.
I think both plays a part. Like you need the wants and need to keep the relationship motivated, right?
Yeah.
So if you want something, you're gonna work hard to get it. If you need something, you also gonna put yourself in a situation to get it too. So I think both of them works itself out.
Yeah. So the next question is, there's a saying that needs take care of our physical body and wants take care of our mental body. Our mental. Do you agree?
You said needs take care of our physical.
And our wants is what take care of our mental.
Well, let's get back to what you was talking about, which was crazy about us not needing to have sex unless it's procreation.
Will you die?
I'm just saying,
Will
bro,
you die if you don't have sex in 2 years?
I may. 2 years? 2 years?
If you was in jail
No, you're right. I won't die.
and you wasn't into booty play and
I
all
won't
that,
physically. I won't.
you gonna try to find a way to make it.
But sex is masturbation too.
Yeah.
So nobody's not releasing for that period of time and still being somebody who can walk on the street safely.
There was
'Cause
this,
they're
a
dangerous.
Buddhist monk who was like 100 and something.
And you know what
And
they
he
do?
said-
They stay right there in the
I mean,
area.
obviously, I
They
don't watch
leave
him.
the temple
I didn't watch him, but
because
he
they're
said
not safe.
he didn't masturbate or have sex for 60-something years.
That's amazing.
Even you got the priests. They're not supposed to, but they can't help it because
But I also
They don't
believe
be in
he
there
was
right-
able to tap into a higher consciousness. You understand? You can do that.
So
People
his
can do
physical
that.
body didn't need the sex, but obviously we live in a world where we want it so bad that it's a need for us. So what is more important? The question is, do you feel that needs take care of our physical body and it's our wants that take care of our mental?
This is the reason why I don't have anything to say about this. This is something I really, really have to think about. I
they're
don't.
intertwined. That's what,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it.
So it's kind of hard for me to really answer this question. That's why I haven't answered it. It is.
If the question is too deep, I'll move to the last question instead of wasting the time.
But we'll be dwelling on this because I'm thinking like, damn, I don't know. Like,
Because
They
we
go
got a
together.
shortage of time and we started a little late. Last question is, which of these do you feel you struggle with more? What you want or versus what you need?
It's definitely what I want. Because again, I'm not starving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got a
basically,
roof over your head.
it's
I
what
can get
want.
around.
Right. It's what I want. I agree with him. Yeah.
And I think that drives us all, and I think it's a good thing. You know, the world is a big world. It moves off trade and commerce, and I can't produce something in the region of the world that I'm in that somebody can produce in Southeast Asia. So I'm gonna do
We
what
trade.
I do, let them do what they do, and let's meet in the middle
Yeah.
and let the world go around.
I feel as if mentally and physically, it's about your needs. Our wants can come and go. We could change our wants on the drop of a dime, but our needs will always stay the same.
That's critical what you just said. We change our wants, and then that's why we kind of have struggling with defining happiness if we take it back one step, right? Because at first it was just, and women and men suffer. Oh, I just want someone in my life. So you just wanted a woman to be there, or you just wanted a man to be there, and now you kind of be like, that wasn't enough.
Well, I need
He got to be
too.
6'4", 6'3".
Sometimes-
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel like we need to be in a relationship. We need to be with somebody, right? It's usually women that decide that they need somebody.
Hold on.
But
Wait a
shady.
minute.
That's shady. That's petty.
I knew I would get her.
Hold on. Like,
Yo, she cried.
no. I
Go ahead.
disagree.
Go ahead. Answer.
I've
We
been
got
single.
short time, so
I've
go
been
ahead.
single for 3 years, and I'm very happy. I've been so happy. It's the
Yeah.
happiest I've ever been in my life. So I don't need a man.
But it would be nice.
It would be, I guess, it would be nice.
Now
yeah.
she's downplaying it.
I guess. I guess.
So the question is, which of these do you feel you struggle with more, your wants or your needs?
I think it was my wants, right? I think it's my wants because, like, every year I wanna be better at anything I do. You know, financially, spiritually, just as a person in general. Need, you know, you always could get what you need. There's certain essentials, like you said, food, something.
After a certain age.
Yeah, at a certain age, like, you know, so your wants keep you motivated and keep you driving. That's what I think.
But you don't think that your needs is what pushes your wants? Because when I say needs don't change, all right. For example, we need food, but our taste palette will change. So that's in the category of wants.
Yeah, I need some healthy food, but that bad food, I kind of want that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the struggle of my life.
Right? Most people need companionship, whether that comes in the form of being monogamous or not.
Okay.
Isn't that in the category of wants? But that's still fueling the need.
So I think like the question is very deep, you know, and it's not a one answer. It's multiple answers. So it's one of the situations like you got to base it on who the person you are, what keeps you driving, maybe your needs and wants.
Like I said, I struggle with my wants because, you know, they change so often. Before I used to want to be a millionaire. Now I just want to be debt free, which is two different ball games. But the last question we're gonna have is the question that you posed. So we're gonna let you spit it out, and then we're gonna give Lenny some time to talk about what he got going on before we wrap up the show.
Is it okay when you're in a relationship to flirt?
No.
It's not okay, but flirting is part of
flirting
nature,
harmful?
right? Sometimes
I want you to give the mic to
no, but
Mike.
sometimes I used yeah. Sometimes I used to hear my wife talking to the IT guy when she's working from home. I'm like, you keep keying too much, you know what I'm saying? And to me, it sounds flirty, but it's just the nature of the communication we have sometimes.
You know, you repeat the question again because I want to answer it in a good form.
Is it okay to flirt when you're married or in a relationship?
I think it's okay because, to a certain extent, as long as it's not too disrespectful, because it builds confidence, right? You know,
Which part?
for both parties. For both parties.
Yeah,
because
but I don't
sometimes,
need you building the
not confidence.
postman's
No.
confidence when I'm at work.
No, I mean that's what I said, to a certain extent. I think flirting is okay. Flirting is all different forms of kind of flirting, right? You know, so it all depends what it is. When you flirt and then you just gazing in a man's eyes and all that, whatever, what you call, you trying to fuck him. That's a different kind of flirting. But gazing in his eyes, no,
Gazing in the eyes is a
no. Gaze in the eyes, you give him the LL, lick your lips kind of shit. So you trying to fuck him. But what I'm saying, flirting is, like I said, about the one word answer. You might have good general conversation, and then, you know, that's a form of flirting. Good conversation, and it keeps going, and you're in a healthy relationship.
Yo.
You should keep it to a minimum when you're in a healthy relationship.
Cliff.
But that's I said a different form of flirting. I think you need it. I think it's healthy for the relationship.
Go ahead, Mike. What do
Certain
you have
of
to
us
say?
do not have a choice in the matter because it's natural. Sometimes you don't even know you're doing it.
Nah, I ain't with it.
And
Nah, that's bullshit. I'm telling you, bro.
You knew you ain't button your top shirt button up on that shirt before you left out of here, man. You know what you trying to do. Stop playing, man.
That's open.
Just like a woman, if my wife did that, that's a problem. If my girlfriend did that,
All right, but wait.
it's a problem.
Is there ever the opportune time to flirt? Like if she say, "Hey, my boss is acting crazy, but I know if I flirt with him a little bit, I'm gonna get that raise."
No.
We all prostitute ourselves
Alright,
for
if
some
we-
point. Now she prostitute herself for a raise.
Shout out to Open Shirt Poppy.
Open shirt poppy.
Open Shirt Poppy. Open Shirt Poppies dropping the
Ask
science.
your next question, and then we got ask your next question, Amanda, and then we got to wrap it up and have Lenny do his thing.
You said you've been with your wife for 10 years in total, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday I had a discussion with my homegirl. We were talking about marriage and everything. When did you realize that you were going to marry her? So that's like a year that you had. So at what point in a relationship, it didn't take long? I think that's a good thing, though. But at what point in a relationship does a man realize, like, I want to marry her or I don't want to marry her? And do you continue if you know you're not going to marry this person? And, like, I just want to know, dating in your 30s, like, do you feel like you're dating just to date or you're dating to marry?
Well, there's layers to what you're saying. We got limited time, so I'm going to try to attack. I knew I was going to marry my wife when it was after my birthday, and the level of preparation and thought that she took into celebrating my birthday.
Together until after your birthday?
We was only together 4 months by then.
And you knew you were gonna.
I knew I was gonna marry her because of the level of how she made me feel. It was like no other, and you know, if you're younger, you may need more of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old soul, so I was already ready. Then you asked something else after that. What was the question after that?
Maybe it was the dating in the 30s. Like, are you
Dating
dating
in 30s. I always tell people like, yo, if you, especially a woman, I'm not gonna be sexist, but you 33, your biological clock is ticking. Like you don't have 2-3 years to be wasting time with dudes. So a lot of people are like, oh, if you're too aggressive and you approach me in a relationship, you're gonna scare men off. You're gonna scare cowards off. But the man who's like, yo, I need a wife, I want a wife.
I agree with
he's
that.
gonna be able to make that decision.
You want me to answer?
I knew.
Don't give Mike Mike.
I think we ruined
Mike has
the
his nipples out.
whole segment for Open Shirt Poppy. But
Put those nipples away, Mike.
I think it's important. Right? I knew I was gonna marry my wife because she was smart enough to have a close relationship with my mom, who's the foundation.
How many months was it when you realized that?
Oh, it took us 7 years to to still to deal with me, but it took 7 years because I knew that my foundation is my mom, right? She held the household together, and I knew she was smart enough to get a great relationship with my mom. So when I had the conversation with my mom told me, like, listen, you've been together for 7 years, you need to step up to the plate. My mom encouraged me to make adult decisions, and I listened to her because she's the foundation of my family, and it's very important. If she didn't get along with my mom, she could watch the show right now. There's no way I would have married her. Point blank, period. Because if you don't respect my mother, who's the foundation of everything, that means you're not gonna respect me for life.
I just want to say something real quick. Especially going back to what Marv said, and when he decided to marry his wife, a man has to be ready to do that. It doesn't. Not saying it doesn't matter who the woman is, but if he's not ready, he could be absolutely head over heels in love with that woman. He has to be ready to say, I want to be married. And then it doesn't matter how long y'all been together. If he says, I want to be married, this is the woman I'm in love with right now, I'm going to make her my wife. That's it. So when Cliff was ready, he did the decision. Marv was ready a little faster. He made the decision. You got to be ready.
Well, I know for me, I'm a divorcee. I was married for 9 years.
Me too.
Okay. When I married my ex, I was young. We had a child together, and it was the right thing. I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household, so I figured, you know what, I want to be like Bill Huxtable. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But now, I do have a girlfriend, and she makes me happy. She makes me very, very happy. I'm still trying to figure out the next stage. Am I gonna marry again? Yes, 100%.
It's hard as a divorcee because it's like I did this, it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm afraid. You know what I'm afraid of? Is she gonna switch up on me?
Because they do switch after they get married.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say women. I'm gonna say people. People.
Y'all can speak to that. That I do
Maybe it's you that
changes
switches
shit.
up, Mike. It might be you.
What? Everybody. The I do changes shit.
You gotta wrap it up. Finish giving your advice, Mike.
I'm just saying the I do changes things. So I can understand his hesitation. I have a lot of hesitation too. I did it once. I did it too young. I got married at, 24, 25,
same age,
something like that.
Yeah,
It was too young. Yeah,
I got married at 28. And I think
that's
I was,
more closer to 30 is probably the right time, because you have to sow your royal oats. Like Prince Akeem.
that was open. Shout out to Open Shirt Poppy.
Open Shirt Poppy will resonate well after the show. All right, so guys, thank you very much. That was another great episode of the Views from the Friendzone podcast. Thank you much for coming through. Want to give Trainer Leonard Smith a shout out what he got going on, how people could follow him before we wrap up.
Definitely. Follow me on Instagram at Trainer Leonard Smith. Also, my website is leonardsmithathletics.com. I'm gonna be doing my boot camps starting Sunday mornings, 9 to 10 o'clock at Ditmas Park, on Cortellia Road. Again, LeonardSmithAthletics.com is how you reach me.
And I just want to also plug, if you go to his Instagram, he does so many dope videos that make you, like, you watch the workout, he's telling you your form and your structure.
Thank you, my brother.
So definitely support that.
Yeah, I guess let me use another 30 seconds. Yeah. on my website, LeonardSmithAthletics.com, I have an exercise library. So if the point of that's going to be a lot better by the end of the summer, but it's fully functional right now, and the point of it is so that if you want to design your own workout, you can go right to the exercise library. It's categorized in terms of body parts, so if you're doing a back day, you can go there, choose 5 back exercises, and send yourself your own program.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so I just wanted to shout that out.
I'm gonna say it quick. I know I be talking too long sometimes, but I think I know we had some laughter in this episode, but I think it was very important we discussed about suicide and mental illness because it's getting out of hand. I mean, today was a great discussion. We did some dialogues about it and stuff, and it's important. Just reach out to your loved ones and friends because you never know what that conversation could do to them. Everybody just because they're happy outside don't mean they're happy. So that's why I just want to say.
Especially reach out to the ones who are the strong ones because they need it the most.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just want to give a shout out to my youngest daughter. Her birthday was last week, so I missed me last week. Kira.
Yeah, I gave her a shout out. I didn't want to say her name. I didn't say her name.
That's my baby.
Yeah.
And then next Sunday, Father's Day, is my youngest little guy, Carmelo. So I probably won't be here Father's Day, but happy birthday, my little guy. He's a monster.
That's what's up. So yeah, like I always say, support Leonard Smith with what he got going on. Support Amanda with her soy candle business. You got to start plugging yourself more.
I told her to bring one.
And I also want to give a shout out real quick to my young boy Samad Savage, who was a guest on the show previous. He has a big concert for Declare on June 22nd. No, it's not. It's in Mount Clear, New Jersey. They have their own little theater. So come out to the Clear 2 concert. Samad Savage is doing this thing. Like I always tell everybody, go out there, chase your legacy and not a liability because your legacy lasts longer. And we out. Yeah. Peace.
Salute.
No doubt.
Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kind of sweet and you want to be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kind of sweet and you want to be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo.